Lady from California is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I move to strike the last word. First, I'd like to thank Representative Trahan for an amendment asking for oversight into the firings and freezes at NIH. I'd like to associate myself with their amendment, and all the remarks made will be made in support of that amendment. My amendment focuses on a specific impact of NIH policy freezes, which has historically enjoyed great bipartisan support: rare diseases. This week is Rare Disease Week. Thousands of patients and families are here in D.C. for a week of community engagement and productive conversations with governor partners. Yet yesterday, I received word that the NIH and FDA has canceled 2 days of Rare Disease Day events at the last minute because many of the employees working on the program were fired over the weekend. Now, this is greatly disappointing to those families, many of whom were already in D.C. when the events were canceled. But that disappointment pales in comparison to what's to come if these careless attacks on our scientific agencies continue. We are in an unprecedented moment of attacks on science. Whether it's arbitrarily cutting NIH research grants, replacing scientists' judgment about how and what they can research, or injecting uncertainty and fear into researchers' lives. These attacks threaten the entire research and development ecosystem. The impacts are not abstract. NIH-funded research impacts all of us, bringing solutions to our most pressing problems. But for the 1 in 10 Americans with a rare disease, it is often the only hope for a breakthrough cure. These scientific breakthroughs often lead to drugs that are taken up by pharma companies, but companies don't want to invest in the long haul of basic research into the diseases. That's why NIH funding is absolutely vital. For example, decades of NIH-funded research helped uncover insights about a certain protein that is altered in patients with cystic fibrosis. That research made it possible for a pharmaceutical company to develop the first medicines to treat the underlying cause of cystic fibrosis. But even if private companies could take on the role of primary research and development funder, without NIH funds, they won't have any trained scientists to conduct the research. NIH dollars train the next generation of scientists. In response to the Trump administration's wanton cuts, grad schools are pausing or closing their admissions because they don't know if they can support more trainees in a chaotic funding environment. The attacks are already chasing bright minds away from these positions, reducing U.S. competitiveness. This committee has a responsibility to oversee our federal biomedical research enterprise. Standing idly by while an unelected billionaire dismantles that carefully constructed research ecosystem is unacceptable. So I urge my colleagues to support my amendment, especially support Representative Trahan's amendment, especially given the impacts on the futures and hopes of rare disease patients. With that, I yield the balance of my time.
I thank the gentlelady for